Okay, so when it comes to first impressions, it's really important that you make one, right? And so one of the best ways to make a first impression is how the house looks. We want to look as good online as we do in person, or vice versa. And so, how you prep a house, how you condition it, how you, declutter it, the types of pictures you take, the video, all that, comes to play into creating that first impression. One of the first things that we do when it comes to creating that first impression, or, looking at the condition, is declutter. And once it's decluttered, which could be a process, and you got to really sit down and you got to talk to the sellers to make sure that they understand that this is a process that's probably the hardest part about selling their house, and getting it ready to show. You'll know if it's ready for pictures, it's ready to show. And if it's not ready for pictures, and I'm kind of a stickler when it comes to pictures and making sure that it looks the way it's supposed to, I consider that just best practices. It's not like we're doing anything up and above what a good agent would do, but these are normal things that, if you're out there shopping for agents and you're wondering, gosh, does my agent do this? Well, if they don't, they should. Good agents do this, right? You have to create that good first impression. And so part of what you have to do, if at all possible, and if you can factor it into the budget, is staging. So once you declutter, do your fixes and get everything kind of situated, then you got to stage it. And when you stage, you're going to create an emotional response. And that's what our first impression is supposed to do when you list a house, is to create that I can see myself living here kind of a feeling. And as we all know, in residential real estate, it's a very emotional thing, right? So we first lead by price. So how we price the house, and we talked a little bit about that earlier, pricing a house properly so you can create what I call an equity play. That generates endorphins, like when you go shopping, endorphins make you feel good. That's the same thing when we look for a home. If we can make them feel good when they see it, then they're going to be more apt to want to look at it in person. And then once they look at the price, then they go look at it in person, then they get emotionally involved because they can see themselves living there. And living there is so important because it's their house, it's their life, it's their lifestyle, it's where they're going to raise their kids. It's where, all life happens, is in the house. We just really want to make sure that we get that first impression nailed down, and then we go from there. When it comes to expertise, that is something that, has to be, I think, part and parcel with how you operate and run your business. Are you the same? Do you do exactly the same thing that everybody else does? Or have you figured out a better way to do something? Like, for instance, if you are going to sell homes, right? The typical way most people sell homes is, they list as high as they possibly can, or at least whatever they need to do to get the listing. And then with the understanding that they're going to, if they don't get the offers, or if things don't go the way they want, they'll lower the price. And so you have, potentially, if you list high, you have potentially long days in the market and fewer offers. It's hard to create a multiple offer environment when you list super high. We create a value range pricing model, and that value range creates kind of hope for people, because we make sure that people understand that our seller is motivated, not that they're desperate, but motivation is a weird word, and most people construe it as desperate. I don't know any seller that's not motivated, so we always say motivated seller. And along with that, we want to make sure that they understand that we want to not alienate the buyer. We want to create as much activity as possible, because activity builds on itself. The more activity you have, more energy that's created, the more buzz that's happening. People can see that there's multiple offers, and then good things happen, because then you can drive the price. And we have this proprietary software that we use called the Smart Offer Platform that helps to drive the price by allowing people to compete by seeing where they rank. We rank offers, we don't give away the price, but by ranking the offers, people can really understand, if they're in the ballpark, or if they want to compete, that gives them the option to compete. And that's really important, because a lot of times in a highest and best situation, when you have multiple offers, you pick one and everybody else is left out in the cold wondering what happened, and it's a very frustrating thing from a buyer agent standpoint, having to go back to your client and say, I'm sorry, we missed out, and not giving them a chance to compete, because, chances are they were willing to, pay more than what maybe, was happening. And so that's why we say that we can provide the true highest and best price in the shortest period of time. because of our system and our method and our software and the way that we run it. We just got done talking about how to differentiate ourselves, how to separate ourselves from the market, maybe even a little bit of how to compete to get the business. You know, as we sit down at that kitchen table, we have a fighting chance. I always say that if you want to win, what's the first thing that you need to do? You need to compete. And if you can't compete, you're not going to win. And so one of the ways that we compete is with how we run our systems, with how we sell our homes. And it starts with creating that multiple offer environment. We get that price right. We attract by price. We bring people in with condition, how we condition the home and how we prep it, how we show it, pictures, drone videos, the whole bit. And then we get the software involved where we rank the offers. And so, you know, we provide that differentiation for you. You can leverage that to help provide a better service to your clients as well as win more listings potentially. Having said that, that's just kind of a quick synopsis as to what we can do for you and how we do it. If you have any questions or you want to talk further, my name's Andy Parker. I'm with Smart, and I'll look forward to seeing you on the next video.